Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Rosie and one of her trainers, Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give is a slight tug and let go on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Rosie's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you will be taught how to use that during your follow-up training session. Now, if you notice, she's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. The command is Rosie, heel, and you hear Fred encouraging her and motivating her, and she's walking right along beside him, and each time that he stops his feet, she's been taught to sit automatically to wait for her next command. She has a leaf on her tail, which may be why she's dragging her tail. Miss Rosie, she's quite the girl here. So lots of encouragement. She stays focused on Fred. She walks right along nicely beside him, and each time that he stops his feet, she sits automatically to wait for her next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay.
Stay.
The command is the one-word stay. She has a habit of wanting to D-O-W-N on her sit-stays. So Fred is holding the leash with a little bit of tension so that she doesn't do that. The long sit-stay is for 1 minute, working up to 3 minutes. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her as an additional distraction, and she should remain seated until she gets another command. And they're going to go heeling again. And you hear Fred talking to her, encouraging her to stay up with him. He leaves her in another sit-stay, and I want you to practice your stays indoors as well as outdoors. These are great exercises to practice for maturity, focus, attention span. This time, instead of returning back to his dog, Fred's going to call her. And she should come right in front and sit facing his knees. And then she goes back to heel position and back sitting. Lots of praise and motivation because she's a youngster.
Stay.
Fred leaves her in a sit-stay. He's going to use her name in a happy voice, lots of motivation. She comes right in front and sits facing his knees, and then she returns back to heel, and everything starts and stops at heel position. Now the next exercises that we're going to demonstrate for you are your down commands. So he's going to bring her around to face the camera, and the first of those down commands is down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm straight down toward the ground and the one-word command to down. There we go.
Stay.
The long down stay when you're practicing at home is for 3 minutes, working up to 5 minutes. And you can practice this right in your living room. These stationary exercises are great to practice around the house. 3 to 5 minute long down stays as she matures and you practice. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay, returning all the way back to heel.
Rosie, heel. Good.
She's such a diva. She's very high maintenance. Fred's going to put her into another down. And this time Fred will call her out of that.
Good girl.
She sits right in front, and that really helps with all the jumping. She learns to come to you and sit right in front. And The next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a distance, which she actually loves this because she tries to do it on her sit stays. Fred leaves her in a sit stay. He's going to use his right hand to give the command, and he drops her into a down. That's your down from a distance. Now we've demonstrated for you her heel, her automatic sit, her stay, her down from a distance, and her come. These are her obedience exercises. All the other questions that you have about her house manners and socialization, people skills, Amanda will go over with you tomorrow when she brings her home. We've enjoyed having her. She was challenging as far as obedience is concerned, but a lot of small dogs are. She's a sweetheart. So we've enjoyed having her, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.